It's not just the end of our show, but it's the end of The Late Show on CBS. I'm not being replaced. This is all just going away.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most jaw-dropping and headline-grabbing scandals to shake famous talk shows and the hosts behind them.
Jimmy Fallon apologized to his Tonight Show staff in the wake of toxic workplace allegations in a Rolling Stone report.
Number 50, Jimmy Kimmel temporarily pulled off air. Late Night took an unprecedented turn in 2025 when Jimmy Kimmel Live abruptly vanished from ABC's schedule. The decision came after Kimmel delivered a monologue addressing the killing of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, during which he criticized the, quote, MAGA gang and mocked President Trump's public reaction.
ABC taking Jimmy Kimmel off the air indefinitely after making these comments about the aftermath of conservative commentator Charlie Kirk's murder.
The MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them.
The remarks sparked backlash from conservative media and ABC affiliates, including Nexstar and Sinclair-owned stations. FCC Commissioner Brendan Carr then publicly suggested that airing Kimmel might violate, quote, public interest standards.
The head of the FCC, Brendan Carr, then going on a press tour of sorts, urging local stations who control what's broadcast in markets where ABC doesn't own stations outright.
ABC paused the show as the controversy swelled into a national debate over censorship.
What followed was a very public debate over free speech in this country, critics suggesting the move was caving to political pressure.
Kimmel eventually made his return to the air after several days of media frenzy. Number 49, Kerry Katona's on-air struggle.
Yesterday, she showed off her brand new body in the tabloids. Today, Kerry joins us for an exclusive interview.
The burden of fame on this former Atomic Kitten singer was unquestionably distilled in her notorious 2008 interview for This Morning. She was promoting the controversial reality show Kerry Katona Whole Again, which documented her undergoing extensive plastic surgery at age 28.
You know, really have bared all there.
Yeah, I mean, looking at that it makes you like, wow, so how I am now, it was such a relief. I mean, they were so big. I mean, you could see by how long they were. So now it's just unbelievable, and not once have I complained about my back, not once.
The interview saw Katona struggle to form coherent sentences. Her slurring state and admission to continuing to smoke despite post-op risks affirmed to many that she had a problem.
That's why, because I have medication at night time.
Do you?
Which I took about 11:30 last night, didn't I, Mark? I did a TV show last night. I wasn't talking like this yesterday, but probably it's early in the morning, but that's...
Katona achieved sobriety the following year and has since made promoting mental health and celebrity pressure key to her public image. However, her heartbreaking exploitation on This Morning was certainly its own cautionary tale.
We wish you well.
Yeah.
I hope it's a big success for
Yeah.
you. And you're looking fantastic.
I know, I feel it.
And you feel great. Good.
Number 48, Crispin Glover nearly kicks David Letterman. Late-night TV has seen its share of odd guests, but few have matched Crispin Glover's level of unpredictability.
I'm a movie star, so I've been on talk shows on the Johnny Carson show, and now I'm here, and I've been all across the United States, and I feel really good about it.
You see, when the Back to the Future star appeared on Late Night with David Letterman in July 1987, he behaved erratically while donning an odd outfit complete with towering platform shoes. Things escalated when Glover performed a sudden high kick that came dangerously close to Letterman's face, prompting the host to immediately walk off stage.
No, I'm taking part. These aren't mine. I can kick.
Okay. I'm going to go check on the top 10.
Glover later claimed he was, quote, in character, but viewers were left wondering whether they had witnessed performance art or a near assault. The bizarre exchange cemented itself as one of Letterman's strangest interviews.
I think that's the first time we've been doing the show that a guest actually tried to kick me.
Number 47, Bobcat Goldthwait sets fire on The Tonight Show. Talk shows thrive on spontaneity, but this moment crossed into sheer mayhem. In May 1994, comedian Bobcat Goldthwait appeared on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno and proceeded to shock everyone by setting the guest chair on fire.
I know what else. I think, well, it is sweeps, and I love Jay very much, and I thought, well, what if I don't know, what if I set his furniture on fire?
No, don't set that on fire.
Now you have to sit in this.
Yes, he had secretly brought with him some lighter fluid and ignited the seat, leaving Leno to douse the flames with a cup of water. For his actions, NBC fined him over $3,000 and banned him temporarily from the network. Audiences, however, were stunned not just by the fiery stunt itself, but by how casually Goldthwait executed it.
Now where's he going now?
Number 46, Aziz Ansari calls out CBS on CBS. Some guests come on talk shows to promote their work. Others take the moment to make a point. And in November 2015, Aziz Ansari appeared on CBS's The Late Show with Stephen Colbert to do the latter.
Stephen's the first late-night host from South Carolina.
Right.
And the bajillionth white guy.
In fact, he addressed CBS's history of limited diversity, joking that he and Colbert represented, quote, 50% diverse, which he quipped was, quote, an all-time high for CBS.
This is like an all-time high for CBS.
Yeah.
By highlighting the network's ongoing lack of South Asian representation, he sparked wider conversation about inclusion in mainstream television. The exchange struck a balance between humor and critique, reminding audiences that even late-night comedy can serve as a stage for meaningful cultural commentary.
You've written the best-selling book, Modern Love.
Modern Romance.
Sorry, really?
Let's call it Modern Romance.
Really? My card says Modern Love.
Oh, somebody's gonna get fired.
Wow. God, I hope it's a white guy.
Number 45, Julie Chen Moonves exits the talk. In September 2018, Julie Chen Moonves made the shocking decision to leave the talk. The decision came after her husband, CBS CEO Les Moonves, resigned amid multiple allegations of sexual misconduct.
The number of women now publicly accusing Moonves of sexual misconduct has doubled to 12, according to a new report by the New Yorker magazine, detailing 6 previously unreported incidents, which allegedly took place between the 1980s and early 2000s.
She acknowledged that she was stepping away to focus on her family. However, her exit shocked audiences because she had been part of the show since its inception and had long been one of CBS's most recognizable personalities. The situation showed how a spouse's public crisis can dramatically and unexpectedly reshape someone else's career.
From outside the Big Brother house with Brent, I'm Julie Chen Moonves. Good night.
Number 44, Steve Harvey's leaked memos. Sometimes talk show scandals erupt without a camera even rolling. In 2017, internal memos written by Steve Harvey leaked to the press, revealing unusually strict instructions he had given to his staff for The Steve Harvey Show.
Kind of opens up the curtain and shows you what may be going on behind the scenes with his staff.
The rules demanded that employees not approach him in hallways, dressing rooms, or during downtime. They included blunt lines such as, quote, do not ambush me.
Do not wait in any hallway to speak to me. If you're reading this, yes, I mean you.
Critics were quick to accuse Harvey of arrogance, and the internet quickly turned the memos into memes. The host defended the policy as necessary for boundaries, but the harsh tone generated significant backlash.
I didn't know I was in trouble till I woke up one morning and it was on CNN.
Number 43, Jimmy Kimmel upsets China. A comedic bit spiraling into an international dispute is not something late-night hosts expect, but it definitely happened here. In 2013, Jimmy Kimmel Live aired a segment where children discussed U.S. debt. And, well, one child joked that America should, quote, kill everyone in China.
America owes China a lot of money, $1.3 trillion. How should we pay them back?
Shoot cannons all the way over and kill everyone in China.
Kill everyone in China?
Yes.
Okay, that's an interesting idea.
Naturally, the moment sparked outrage from Asian American organizations, triggering some protests at ABC studios. China's government also condemned the broadcast. ABC removed the segment and apologized, but the damage was done. The controversy demonstrated just how quickly an unscripted moment can escalate beyond comedy and into a serious diplomatic headache.
Should this country be forced to pay our own debts?
Yes!
Yeah, but you just said kill everyone in China a little while ago. What happened to that?
Number 42, Rosie O'Donnell and Tom Selleck's verbal sparring.
Columbine had just happened.
Right.
It was 1999, and he had an ad in the magazines that said, I am the NRA.
When Tom Selleck visited the Rosie O'Donnell show in 1999 to promote his film The Love Letter, no one expected the interview to derail the way it did. You see, after O'Donnell confronted Selleck about his involvement with the National Rifle Association, tensions rose sharply. The two began debating gun control in an uncomfortable back and forth.
And the people you hang out with in the NRA have a one-sided view as well.
I don't hang out with people in the NRA.
Okay, well, you're saying I hang out with people with my views. I'm just saying.
I said people tend
we
to
all
hang out
tend
Uh-huh.
to. The NRA does, and the un-NRA does.
You know, this is a nice one-sided conversation, but you keep interrupting me. Remember how civil you said we were going to be?
The verbal fighting took place in the wake of the Columbine High School shooting. And the abrupt shift from friendly talk show banter to heated political debate left viewers stunned.
Do you really think the Second Amendment is in the Constitution to guarantee hunting and target shooting?
There is no wonder it remains one of daytime TV's most confrontational moments.
I walked off stage and said to my staff, do you think that'll get any press?
Number 41, Mariah Carey's awkward pregnancy reveal. After Ellen, the former queen of daytime TV, was called out for fostering a toxic work environment in 2020, viewers began scrutinizing moments on the Ellen DeGeneres show that now seem toxic. One such segment occurred in a 2008 chat with Mariah Carey, which can be seen as particularly cruel.
People are saying that that you're pregnant. There's rumors.
Don't discuss that.
All right. Well, you don't have to
No,
answer.
that's okay. No, honestly,
you
how
don't
do
have to
I- how
answer
do
me.
I-
Let's just toast with champagne and decide.
But
if,
they've been saying that since we...
In it, DeGeneres addressed rumors that Carey was expecting her first child with Nick Cannon. Mariah made it clear she did not want to go there. However, Ellen proceeded to interrogate the singer with champagne until she somewhat confirmed her pregnancy.
You're pregnant! No, I didn't say that. No. My mother would be at home, on the computer, what are you talking about? No, we will let you know when we're going to have a family.
No, you won't.
Yes, I would.
No. They always say that when they're sitting on the show, and then I read about it the next day.
It wasn't until later that she revealed she had tragically suffered a miscarriage shortly after the appearance. Number 40, The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, canceled.
Once Skydance gets CBS, the new owner's desire to please Trump could put pressure on late-night host and frequent Trump critic Stephen Colbert.
In July 2025, CBS shockingly announced that The Late Show with Stephen Colbert would be canceled at the end of its 2026 season, a decision that shocked fans.
It's not just the end of our show, but it's the end of The Late Show on CBS. I'm not being replaced. This is all just going away.
The announcement came just days after Colbert used his monologue to harshly criticize CBS's parent company Paramount, calling the network's $16 million settlement with President Trump a, quote, big fat bribe in connection with a lawsuit over a 60-minute segment and a pending merger approval. CBS insisted the cancellation was a, quote, purely financial decision, but the timing fueled accusations that political pressure and the Trump settlement played a central role.
40 million's a big number. I could see us losing $24 million, but where would Paramount have possibly spent the other $16 million? Oh, yeah.
Number 39, Jim Everett erupts at Jim Rome. Some interviews simmer with tension. This one exploded. You see, in 1994, quarterback Jim Everett appeared on Jim Rome's ESPN2 show Talk 2.
Jim, good to have you on the show.
Good to be here, Jim. Thank you.
Check that. Chris Everett, good to have you on the show.
Rome repeatedly taunted Everett by calling him Chris. Rome did this as a way of mocking his toughness by comparing him to tennis champion Chris Evert. After sending clear warnings to stop, Everett finally snapped, standing up, tipping the table, and shoving Rome to the ground.
I think that you probably won't say it again.
I bet I do.
Okay.
Chris?
Did we mention this was all on live TV? The clash became one of sports talk's most infamous confrontations and demonstrated how a host's relentless needling can cross the line.
Looking back on it, would you do anything differently? Or?
No, I wouldn't. I think that all I would say, looking back on it, that is if there's any other professional athlete that wants to do an interview with Mr. Rome, I would say that to be cautious.
Number 38, Jimmy Fallon's toxic workplace apology.
Jimmy Fallon apologized to his Tonight Show staff in the wake of toxic workplace allegations in a Rolling Stone report.
In September 2023, a Rolling Stone investigation into The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon left everyone stunned. It revealed claims of a toxic work environment and cited erratic behavior, staff beratement, and inconsistent leadership. Gaining traction online, it said Fallon addressed employees during a Zoom meeting, apologizing and saying he never intended to foster an unhealthy atmosphere.
Sorry if I embarrassed you and your family and friends. I feel so bad I can't even tell you.
While NBC didn't comment extensively, the report triggered widespread debate about accountability in late night. Viewers, however, were surprised because the allegations contrasted sharply with Fallon's friendly public persona. Of course, this isn't the only time a beloved host came under fire for displaying such contradictory behavior. Number 37, the fall of Philip Schofield. Few British talk show scandals have unraveled as quickly or publicly as this one. In May 2023, longtime This Morning host Philip Schofield resigned after admitting to a, quote, unwise but not illegal relationship with a much younger colleague.
How old was this young man when you first had any kind of sexual contact with him?
20.
The revelation triggered intense scrutiny of ITV, which aired this morning, with critics questioning whether the network ignored rumors for years.
And then, in my dressing room one day, something happened.
As for Schofield, his previously polished image collapsed almost overnight, leading to investigations and public apologies. The fallout deeply shook UK daytime television, making it one of the most consequential broadcasting scandals the country had faced in decades.
Got a bit of a shock. Right. I'm afraid you've been let go from this morning.
Number 36, Hulk Hogan chokes out Richard Belzer. Who knew talk show demonstrations could turn so dangerous? In 1985, comedian Richard Belzer invited Hulk Hogan and Mr. T onto his talk show Hot Properties to promote their main event bout at the first ever WrestleMania.
The first thing you need to know about amateur wrestling or professional wrestling are submission holds. You just tell me, brother, when you want him to quit squealing, okay? All right.
But when Belzer asked Hogan to demonstrate a wrestling hold, Hogan, with encouragement from T, applied a front shin lock that knocked the host unconscious. Belzer fell to the studio floor and hit his head. When he regained consciousness and sprung to his feet, he promptly threw to a commercial.
And now, we'll be right back after this word from you-know-who.
Belzer would later sue over the incident, reaching a hefty settlement. Number 35, Andy Dick gets escorted off the set. By 2007, comedian Andy Dick's reputation as a troublemaker had lost its charm in the throes of substance use disorder. And, well, he was clearly under the influence during this now infamous appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live. The host humored Dick's antics until Ivanka Trump's interview, which Andy kept disrupting by touching her hair and leg.
I have no idea what he's doing behind me.
He's perfectly still.
I'm like trying to be very.
He even asked for a kiss. Kimmel eventually had to call security to forcibly escort Dick out of the studio.
Andy, don't touch Ivanka.
Oh wait, did I say I was single and then I had a boyfriend?
Andy, please don't. Donald Trump will kill both of us.
Andy has since worked towards sobriety with many ups and downs in his journey, but he has never been able to completely live down his past. Number 34, Michael Strahan's exit drama.
I hope my pants split. I hope it just split right open.
Daytime Harmony took a serious hit in 2016 when ABC announced Michael Strahan's upcoming move from Live to Good Morning America. The problem? The major career shift was reportedly made without informing his on-air partner Kelly Ripa. Ripa's sudden absence from the show in the wake of the decision drew massive media attention. When she returned, she addressed the situation directly, calling for better communication and respect.
It started a much greater conversation about communication and consideration, and most importantly, respect in the workplace.
The drama exposed the nature of high-profile co-host relationships and forced ABC into major damage control mode. The entire saga has since become one of television's defining talk show upheavals.
Joining me today and permanently until one of us dies is Mark Consuelo.
Number 33, Don Imus's racist and misogynistic comments. From syndicated radio to MSNBC, Don Imus's talk show was an institution for half a century. But the shock jock naturally accumulated many controversies in that time.
I didn't think it was necessary to offer any excuse. No, I don't think there is now.
He finally went too far in April of 2007 when he made racist and misogynistic comments about a women's basketball team. The backlash went as high up as then presidential candidate Barack Obama. Despite making 2 formal apologies, Imus lost his national broadcasting contracts with MSNBC and CBS Radio.
I mean, at this point, as we sit here today, is there anything he can do?
Yeah, he could resign.
Imus in the Morning was able to secure a successful run in New York City, but spent its last decade in obscurity relative to its earlier status. In his final sign-off in 2018, Imus acknowledged those disgraceful remarks as his greatest regret. Number 32, Jimmy Fallon gets cozy with Donald Trump. Late-night appearances by presidential candidates carry enormous weight, putting pressure on hosts to navigate the moment carefully. That's what made Jimmy Fallon's September 2016 interview with then-candidate Donald Trump must-watch TV. But rather than press Trump on the controversies dominating his campaign, Fallon opted for a light, entertainment-focused segment that culminated in him playfully tousling Trump's hair.
Can I mess your hair up?
The moment instantly went viral and drew intense criticism from many who felt the show had, quote, normalized Trump during a deeply divisive election cycle.
The answer is yes, but the people in New Hampshire, where I'm going to be in about an hour from now, I hope they're going to understand. Okay? You say yes? Go ahead, with my hairspray.
Fallon later acknowledged the backlash and said he regretted upsetting people. The interview, meanwhile, remains one of the most hotly debated chapters in modern late-night television. Number 31, a Jerry Springer guest is killed.
I want them to say, after watching the show, that they learned something about life that they didn't know before, and Jerry didn't get in the way of the telling of that story.
Some scandals extend far beyond the studio, and this one turned tragically real. From wild drama and screaming matches to outright brawls, a lot of wild stuff happened on The Jerry Springer Show. Yet we never expected it to be linked to a real-life murder.
What's going on?
Ralph and I are trying to restore our marriage, and this trailer trash won't leave us alone.
In one episode, Nancy Campbell Panitz appeared in hopes of reuniting with her ex-husband Ralph, only to be cornered into a heated confrontation on live TV. Unthinkably, on the day the episode aired, several weeks later, Nancy's life was taken away by Ralph. Also shocking was the fact Springer and his team were let off the hook without any real repercussions.
Jerry Springer, he just kind of blew it off like, what do I know about it? How disrespectful can you be? It's just awful.
Number 30, Russell Brand and Jonathan Ross's cruel joke. In 2008, BBC talk show host Ross joined Brand's radio show as his guest co-host. Andrew Sachs, best known for his work in the sitcom Fawlty Towers, was meant to be a phone-in guest.
Fawlty Towers, how are you? Nice day.
However, when the hosts couldn't reach him, Ross and Brand left several voicemails on air.
The BBC is fighting a desperate battle to contain the crisis.
It quickly went off the rails when they joked about Brand's intimate relationship with Sachs's granddaughter, Georgina Bailey.
You said that at the beginning you were too embarrassed to call your grandfather.
Yeah, of course.
The anger over pranking a beloved UK actor was massive, especially as Sachs did not consent to the messages being played on air. Ross was suspended, while Brand resigned from the BBC, and the corporation was fined £150,000. In 2010, Ross left the BBC and soon joined ITV to create The Jonathan Ross Show. Number 29, Sharon Osbourne defends Piers Morgan. From the talk's debut in 2010, Osborne was one of its most famous and controversial hosts. While she survived several scandals, it all came to a head in 2021. In the wake of her friend Piers Morgan's vendetta against Meghan Markle and walking away from Good Morning Britain, Osborne stuck up for him on the talk.
Did I like everything he said? Did I agree with what he said? No, because it's his opinion, it's not my opinion.
She clashed with co-host Cheryl Underwood, drawing the ire of the audience with her behavior in defending racism.
I have friends in my life. I stick up for my friends.
With the resurfacing of clips of Osborne claiming Markle wasn't black and allegations from former hosts of racist comments and getting them fired, the talk initiated an investigation. In the end, Osborne was let go.
We need to process the events of that day and what happened since so we can get to the healing.
Number 28, Jimmy Kimmel apologizes for using blackface. Before he was one of the biggest talk show hosts around, Kimmel was a co-host on The Man Show, which featured sketches, often parodying celebrities. In 2020, now fronting Jimmy Kimmel Live, he released an apology for his work on The Man Show and in other projects.
Jimmy Kimmel is apologizing today for wearing blackface back in the 90s, a decision he now says was a mistake.
At the time, he had taken part in sketches where he parodied celebrities by wearing blackface. Kimmel portrayed such famous figures as NBA icon Karl Malone and talk show legend Oprah Winfrey. He also developed a comedy Christmas album in 1996, where he pretended to be Snoop Dogg as he uttered racial slurs. Kimmel followed up his apology with a couple of months away from his show with a vacation before returning.
There's nothing more important to me than your respect, and I apologize to those who were genuinely hurt or offended by the makeup I wore or the words I spoke, said Kimmel.
Number 27, James Corden's ban. In 2022, the host of The Late Late Show with James Corden found himself in a unique scandal.
James Corden opened his show last night with a lengthy apology to the staff at a famous New York restaurant.
Reports soon came out that Corden had been banned from New York restaurant Balthazar by owner Keith McNally. He claimed the Brit had been abusive to his staff on 2 occasions. The first had to do with Corden finding hair in his dish and demanding his drinks be comped. The second time, the host screamed at staff over his wife's omelet order.
His wife had ordered an all-egg yolk omelet. When it was served, it had some egg whites in it.
The controversy got so big that Corden apologized on his show.
I also hate, as I said to the owner that day, that I've ever upset anybody, ever. It was never my intention.
In response, McNally unbanned him. However, after Corden denied his behavior in an interview with The Times shortly after, he was seemingly banned once more by McNally. Number 26, Bill Maher uses a racial slur. In 2017, Real Time with Bill Maher had then Nebraska Senator Ben Sasse on as a guest to promote his book, The Vanishing American Adult. However, when Sasse offered Maher to work in the fields if he visited Nebraska, the host responded with a racial slur. After Sasse grimaced and groans rang out from the audience, Maher stated it was a joke before moving on.
It's a joke.
The outrage caused demands for HBO to fire Maher, who issued an apology.
Very quickly the next day, he apologized. HBO said they won't re-air that show without bleeping that word out. And
Sasse also apologized for not speaking out at the time. In a follow-up episode, Ice Cube, Simone Sanders, and Michael Eric Dyson confronted Maher on what he said and why it was damaging to the black community.
It's a word that has been used against us. It's like a knife, man.
Number 25, series of Wendy Williams controversies. Oh boy. Just one of these scandals is enough to cancel a talk show, let alone several in the space of 18 months. In January 2020, Williams drew ire on The Wendy Williams Show when she seemingly mocked rumors of Joaquin Phoenix having a cleft palate treated.
He's got this. Yeah? He's got this. No, I find it to be very attractive.
A month later, she ranted against gay men who opt to wear women's clothing.
I get offended by the idea that we go through something you will never go through. And stop wearing our skirts and our heels.
Days later, Williams mocked Amy Harwick, who was murdered and pushed from a balcony by using ex-fiancé Drew Carey's Price is Right catchphrase, "Come on down." In July 2021, Williams belittled TikTok rapper Swavey by asking if her audience knew who Swavey was, then announcing that he had passed away.
He's 19, and he was murdered Monday morning.
In 2022, The Wendy Williams Show was canceled, citing health issues by the host. Number 24, the affair of Amy Robach and TJ Holmes. When running a TV show, the chemistry between the hosts is a vital component.
You hit it, it wakes you up.
Alarm clock.
There you go.
However, Robach and Holmes took that too far. In 2022, the co-hosts of GMA3, What You Need to Know, were photographed getting cozy with each other off camera, igniting rumors of an affair between them. They were married to other people. Shortly after, ABC took them off air to investigate this, as well as accusations that Holmes had other affairs with additional staff.
Reports say that marathon negotiating sessions took place this week between the anchors, their lawyers, and ABC.
This led to Robach and Holmes being fired by the channel, and they went public with their relationship.
And so, to be clear, we were outed as being in a relationship, but everyone else thought we were being outed as adulterers.
Reportedly, the exes of Robach and Holmes, Andrew Shue and Marley Fiebig, started seeing each other in the aftermath. Number 23, the cancellation of Donahue. In 1996, after 29 years, the Phil Donahue Show ended as the legendary host retired to be with his family.
Well, thank you. I am flattered. You may be seated.
But in 2002, he returned with his self-titled program Donahue on MSNBC.
But I have to tell you, when you're called unpatriotic, it does stop you.
Yet in early 2003, the show was canceled, with the network citing low ratings. Shortly after, the real reason came out. An internal MSNBC memo was leaked that claimed Donahue should be fired due to his anti-war beliefs and his views against the U.S. invasion of Iraq.
A consulting firm, which I believe was a Republican, conservative consulting firm, reported that Donahue's anti-war stance is just not going to be very good for us against the flag waving on the other station.
Years later, MSNBC higher-ups changed tack and tried to blame the cancellation on high production costs instead. Donahue spent the rest of his days as a guest on various shows before he passed away in 2024. Number 22, Megyn Kelly's blackface comments. In 2018, in the wake of reality star Luann de Lesseps using blackface to dress up as Diana Ross for Halloween, the Megyn Kelly Show decided to tackle the scandal, only for the host to cause her own.
I mean, truly, political correctness has gone amok.
Kelly defended de Lesseps, claiming that when she was a child, it was okay to don blackface to play a character, so it should be fine today. Understandably, the audience was livid. On top of apologizing to staff, Kelly also said sorry on her show.
And I want to begin with 2 words. I'm sorry.
However, within days, NBC canceled Megyn Kelly Today, barely a year after its debut. Several months later, in early 2019, Kelly's contract was terminated. The host received the remainder of her multi-million-dollar contract.
After months of negotiations with the TV host, NBC released this statement Friday. The parties have resolved their differences, and Megyn Kelly is no longer an employee of NBC.
Number 21, The Jeremy Kyle Show cancellation. Presenting his self-titled show since 2005, Kyle was a leading figure in UK daytime TV.
Maureen, you're 58 and you're scum. What you've done is shocking.
With a similar format to The Jerry Springer Show and Maury, this regularly drew accusations that Kyle was, quote, human bear baiting. In 2019, his talk show empire came crashing down. After guest Steve Diamond failed the show's signature lie detector test, which has disputed accuracy, he sadly took his own life.
Today, ITV issued a statement saying, "Everyone at ITV and the Jeremy Kyle Show is shocked and saddened at the news of the death of a participant in the show."
Within days, the Jeremy Kyle Show was cancelled by ITV and repeats were scrubbed everywhere. Kyle's confrontational and misleading style was heavily criticized following reports of other guests passing away. After the coroner's report stated Kyle was possibly responsible, an inquest in 2024 cleared the host.
Listen, I've been cancelled.
Yeah.
In this world, it seems now that unless you follow a certain path, you're labelled.
Yes.
Number 20, Whoopi Goldberg defends Bill Cosby. As one of the co-hosts of the long-running talk show The View, Whoopi Goldberg's controversial statements have landed her in hot water on more than one occasion. In 2015, after the assault allegations against Bill Cosby came to light, Goldberg's first instinct was seemingly to come to his defense.
When somebody ruins your reputation, it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Despite the fact that Cosby had admitted to drugging women in the past, the EGOT-winning multi-hyphenate still backed him on the talk show panel, stating that he was innocent until proven guilty.
I know it's a shock, but you actually were innocent until proven guilty.
Needless to say, her comments were not received well by the public. In light of the apparent evidence against Cosby, Goldberg eventually flipped her stance, acknowledging that it all pointed towards guilt.
Gotta say, all of the information that's out there kind of points to guilt.
Number 19, Morton Downey Jr.'s $40 million lawsuit. Before Jerry Springer popularized the trash TV format, there was the Morton Downey Jr. show. But unlike Springer, who typically tried to quell fights on his set, Downey was the instigator. In one of his most famous episodes, the host brought on an adult entertainer named Kelly Everts, who claimed to be a performer for God.
Kelly, let me tell you something, pal. If there's ever a milk strike, I'll know where to go.
Throughout the segment, Downey called her several demeaning names and at different points pushed her with his pelvis. These were all met with loud cheers from his audience. Everts later sued Downey for $40 million, alleging that he had humiliated and physically assaulted her. It's not quite clear how the lawsuit ended, but Downey's show was canceled just 2 years after its premiere.
Next, we'll find out. Next time, we'll find out that she's carrying Jesus.
Number 18, Ellen DeGeneres' toxic workplace allegations. Like many things these days, it all started with a viral Twitter thread. In March 2020, comedian Kevin T. Porter's thread opened the floor to claims that talk show host Ellen DeGeneres was a pretty mean person. A few months later, BuzzFeed News published reports from former employees who detailed years of harassment, intimidation, and racist microaggressions by senior producers of the show.
Ellen is now facing a major PR problem following a BuzzFeed article that portrays the Queen of Nice as the Queen of Mean.
According to them, this toxic environment was fostered by DeGeneres. Turns out the Be Kind lady may not have been keeping to her own words. An investigation by the production company led to the dismissal of 3 executive producers.
3 of the show's senior producers fired after accusations the show created a toxic work culture.
After 19 seasons on the air, the Ellen DeGeneres show came to an end in 2022.
The truth is, I am that person that you see on TV. I am also a lot of other things.
Number 17, Rosie Perez and Kelly Osborne on The View. In 2015, Kelly Osborne appeared as a guest co-host on The View. While trying to counter then presidential candidate Donald Trump's controversial remarks about Mexican immigrants, Osborne essentially put her foot in her mouth.
And if you kick every Latino out of this country, then who is going to be cleaning your toilet, Donald Trump?
Her fellow co-host Rosie Perez, who is of Puerto Rican descent, chimed in quickly and set her straight.
No, I didn't mean it like that. Come on.
Perez, who had already announced her departure from The View at the end of that season, was reportedly forced by ABC executives to apologize to Osborne during the live broadcast and on Twitter. Although these claims have been refuted by some insiders, it's believed that Perez canceled her final live appearances on the show as a result of the incident.
My apologies, Kelly Osborne. I took your point wrong. Trump, Latinos, my bad. Your heart is so pure and righteous. I adore you.
Number 16, Star Jones's sudden departure. The original lineup of The View consisted of creator Barbara Walters, Meredith Vieira, Debbie Matenopoulos, Joy Behar, and Star Jones. Jones remained on the show until 2006, when, seemingly out of nowhere, she announced that she would not be returning for the next season.
The show's moving in another direction for its 10th season, and I will not be returning as co-host next year.
This came as a shock to Walters, not because of what she said, but rather when it was said. Jones's departure was slated to be announced on June 29, 2006, but the co-host decided to take matters into her own hands by breaking the news 2 days early.
This is a surprise. This would come about this way. We did not expect it.
This kicked off a tense feud between the two women. However, they appeared to have patched things up by Jones's next appearance on the show in 2012.
It was a bad emotional time. Nasty things were being said.
Number 15, Sharon Osbourne's view of The View. Nothing brings out the best and sometimes worst in us like competition. The Talk premiered in 2010 with a very similar format as that of The View, kicking off a ratings battle between both shows. When the ladies of The Talk appeared on the Arsenio Hall show in 2013, he wanted to know how the two programs differed from each other. Just as Julie Chen attempted a diplomatic answer, Sharon Osbourne interrupted her with a rather blunt opinion.
I love Barbara Walters. The rest can go.
The incident certainly didn't do Osbourne or The Talk any favors. A few days later, she took a moment on the show to apologize for her remarks, chalking them up to her being a, quote, loose cannon. Number 14, Ann Curry's controversial dismissal. Ann Curry had served as a news anchor on The Today Show for years before she was finally promoted to co-host in 2011. Curry's short time in the chair was reportedly troubled.
I'm Matt Lauer. And I'm Ann Curry, in for, I guess, nobody this morning.
According to some industry insiders, she was only given the job because the show's producers were unsure if longtime host Matt Lauer would renew his contract.
I've worked here for 14 years. If you've been able to put up with me for that long and you're clapping, that's a good sign.
Once it became clear that Lauer was staying, they apparently decided that Curry had to go. Just about a year after she got the job, Curry announced in a very emotional appearance that she would be leaving. Many viewers who were incensed at the controversial departure turned their backs on the show, resulting in their competitor, Good Morning America, taking the #1 spot.
And so to all of you who watch, thank you from the bottom of my heart for letting me touch yours, and thank you for your tweets and your emails.
Number 13, the infamous Geraldo brawl. There's a reason why tabloid talk shows quickly became known as trash TV, and it's because of moments like this. In November 1988, Geraldo Rivera invited a panel to discuss a provocative topic.
I really recommend that you don't push me too hard. Oh, come on, sir.
Among the lineup were some white supremacists, members of the Skinheads Against Racial Prejudice, as well as the African-American activist Roy Innis. Things began to escalate when one of the white supremacists referred to Innis with a derogatory term.
You've got to be kidding. You've got to be kidding.
Innis walked over and grabbed him by the neck, setting off a full-fledged brawl that left Rivera with a fractured nose. As expected, the incident gave the show a ratings bump, proving that when it comes to trash TV, there is no such thing as bad publicity.
Only slightly the worse for the wear. We're back. The skinheads have been, the racist skinheads have been cleared out of the building.
Number 12, Bryant Gumbel's scathing memo. About 7 years into his role as the Today Show anchor, Bryant Gumbel was asked to write an assessment of the program by executive producer Marty Ryan. Gumbel did not hold back. His critiques were notably harsh and were directed at several of his colleagues, most notably the jovial weatherman Willard Scott. In the memo, Gumbel stated that Scott was, quote, holding the show hostage to his assortment of whims, wishes, birthdays, and bad taste. He also had equally blunt words for some other staffers on the show. Unsurprisingly, Gumbel's memo eventually found its way into the hands of the press. The resulting fallout between him and Scott partly contributed to Today dropping to number 2 in the ratings.
I did what I was asked to do. I did it in what I thought was a professional fashion.
Number 11, Pat O'Brien's lewd voicemails. When it came to sportscasting, Pat O'Brien was one of the best in the business. Through the 80s and 90s, O'Brien made a name for himself in sports news, and then became a host for the entertainment programs Access Hollywood and The Insider. He found himself embroiled in controversy in 2005 when a series of explicit voicemails he sent to an unidentified woman leaked on the internet. O'Brien had just checked into rehab for alcohol use disorder when the messages, which he sent in a drunken state, became public.
And I don't remember it. I apparently made it on a Sunday, and I woke up with every boss I have at the edge of my bed in L.A.
Following the incident, O'Brien was miraculously able to retain his job on The Insider. He was, however, fired 3 years later after sending out an ill-conceived email blasting his co-worker Lara Spencer.
And I said, you know, that's the guy I do not want to be.
Number 10, Dr. Phil drug scandal. In 2017, this long-running television program came under fire after former Survivor contestant Todd Herzog accused the producers of exploiting his substance use disorder to generate views. During his infamous appearance on the show, Herzog was so intoxicated he could not stand up on his own, indicating to viewers the seriousness of his condition. However, according to Herzog, he was coerced by staff into drinking 2 bottles of vodka and given Xanax to, quote, calm his nerves before filming.
You're not okay.
No.
The Dr. Phil Show has vehemently denied these claims. However, an expose published in 2017 by The Stat and the Boston Globe exhibited multiple victims making similar claims against the production.
It wasn't until about 30 days into treatment that I realized exactly how bad I was.
Number 9, Rosie O'Donnell versus Elizabeth Hasselbeck. The View can sometimes feel like a daytime soap opera. Of all the scandals this talk show has endured over the years, the feud between co-hosts Rosie O'Donnell and Elizabeth Hasselbeck was perhaps the most notorious. The tension between the two reached its boiling point in 2007, when Hasselbeck referred to Iraq as, quote, America's enemy, prompting O'Donnell to argue that the Bush administration was truly at fault.
You just said our enemies in Iraq. Did Iraq attack us?
The liberal O'Donnell additionally criticized the media for their unflattering portrayal of her, claiming that they favored the conservative Hasselbeck.
Because here's how it gets spun in the media. Rosie, big, fat, lesbian, loud Rosie, attacks innocent, pure Christian Elizabeth. And I'm not doing it.
Following their heated argument, O'Donnell left the show, while Hasselbeck exited 5 years later. Number 8, Alec Baldwin's offensive remarks. Although Alec Baldwin is one of the most outspoken liberals in showbiz, his behavior hasn't always lived up to his professed ideals. In 2013, the Oscar-nominated actor landed in hot water when he allegedly directed a gay slur at a paparazzo. In due course, Baldwin was suspended from his late-night talk show for 2 weeks. While Baldwin initially claimed he was misquoted, he ultimately described his outburst in an apology as, quote, offensive and unacceptable. However, the damage was done, as Up Late with Alec Baldwin was canceled after only 5 episodes. It probably didn't help that Baldwin also made homophobic remarks towards reporter George Stark on Twitter. Number 7, Maury Povich's harassment lawsuit. Maury Povich is no stranger to controversy, as many critics have accused his tabloid talk show of exploiting serious issues. Speaking of exploitation, a $100 million sex harassment lawsuit was filed against Povich and other members of his staff in 2006. The allegation stemmed from Bianca Nardi, a former producer of The Maury Povich Show, who claimed she had been forced to watch adult material and make advances at married men in bars while being filmed. She additionally accused executive producer Paul Fallhaber of making her wear revealing outfits, and implied that Povich was having an affair with producer Donna Ingber. Despite this scandal, Povich remained on television for years and is still married to Connie Chung. Number 6. Billy Bush fired from Today. Just when it seemed like the 2016 U.S. presidential election couldn't get any crazier, a 2005 hot mic recording surfaced in which Republican candidate Donald Trump shared an offensive and potentially incriminating conversation with Access Hollywood host Billy Bush. On a bus ride, Trump not only admitted that he tried and failed to seduce Nancy O'Dell, but also made some vulgar statements while discussing actress Ariane Zucker. The scandal took a drastic toll on Bush's public image, resulting in his termination from The Today Show. Meanwhile, Trump continued his campaign and was elected president almost a month later.
You don't get to say that, because I was there in the last 14 months of my life. I've been dealing with it. You dealt with it for 14 minutes and went on to be the president.
Number 5. Blackmail attempt against David Letterman. After a long, hard day, audiences would typically tune in to Late Show with David Letterman for a lighthearted laugh. The talk show took an uncomfortable turn in 2009, though, when Letterman confessed to having several sexual relationships with his female staffers. An extortionist had targeted Letterman, threatening to write a screenplay about the television host's affairs unless he coughed up $2 million.
And he seems to, in this packet, there seems to be quite a lot of terrible stuff he knows about.
Cooperating with the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, Letterman wrote a fake check, and his blackmailer was arrested shortly after. While Letterman was met with some negative press following this shocking announcement, he eventually moved on from the scandal and hosted Late Show for 6 more years before retiring in 2015. Number 4. Oprah Winfrey versus James Frey.
It's a radical departure, it's not a classic, and it is also not fiction.
James Frey hit it big time when his memoir, A Million Little Pieces, was selected for Oprah's book club in 2005. Chronicling Frey's history with substance use disorder, the book became a New York Times bestseller and a cultural sensation.
If I was going to write a book that was true and I was going to write a book that was honest, then I was going to have to write about myself in very, very negative ways.
Many readers felt cheated, however, when it was revealed that Frey had fabricated information in his supposed true account. This didn't reflect well on Oprah, who invited Frey onto her show to talk about the controversy. Oprah didn't let Frey off with a slap on the wrist, eventually getting him to confess that he had made up parts of the story. She also brought on publisher Nan Talese to set the record straight. Number 3. Conan O'Brien versus Jay Leno. The original war for late night can be traced back to 1992, when Jay Leno became Johnny Carson's successor over David Letterman. This influenced Letterman to move from NBC to CBS, while Conan O'Brien was hired to fill the NBC late night time slot. History essentially repeated itself almost 2 decades later, when Leno exited The Tonight Show so O'Brien could assume his hosting duties. Unfortunately, O'Brien's ratings struggled, and the decision to give Leno a primetime talk show turned out to be a huge miscalculation. Since pushing back the schedule wasn't an option, O'Brien was given a $45 million payout, while Leno returned to The Tonight Show in 2010. Number 2. Matt Lauer's misconduct allegations. In rapid succession, from Bill O'Reilly to Charlie Rose, media personalities were publicly accused of sexual harassment in 2017.
Have you done some soul searching? Have you done some self-reflection? And have you looked at the way you treated women that you think now or think about differently now than you did at the time?
However, the sexual misconduct allegations directed at Matt Lauer shocked audiences perhaps the most. A staple of The Today Show for almost 20 years, Lauer was abruptly fired after a female NBC employee accused him of sexually harassing her 3 years earlier.
You know, for the moment, all we can say is that we are heartbroken.
It became clear that this was unlikely to be an isolated incident, as more women came forward. In one instance, Lauer was accused of summoning a former employee to his office and sexually assaulting her behind a locked door. The fact that Lauer was such a beloved host only made this more disturbing. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Jenny Jones guest loses his life.
Okay, you think about you have fantasies about him?
I've had a couple, yeah.
The Jenny Jones Show aired for over a decade, but it's actually best remembered for an episode that never even aired. Entitled Same-Sex Secret Crushes, the episode centered on a guest named Scott Amador, who, on the show, revealed his crush to an acquaintance named Jonathan Schmitz. 3 days after the episode was taped, Schmitz reportedly found a suggestive note from Amador. Schmitz subsequently purchased a shotgun, shot Amador 2 times in the chest, and alerted the authorities of the crime he had just committed. Having a history of mental health issues, Schmitz was convicted of second-degree murder. Meanwhile, The Jenny Jones Show faced a wrongful death lawsuit and was forced to pay Amador's family $25 million. Which talk show meltdown shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments.